This is a boat that I've been really excited to bring you. This is Fairline's brand new Squadron 58. This is the first time it's been seen. This is the very first one. It's only just left the factory and arrived here at the Southampton Boat Show. And this is a thing of beauty, quite frankly. A lot of moving parts on this one as well. You can see straight away the drop balconies, for example. So we're going to go on board of this one. We're going to take the full tour. And we're going to take you to every area. So we're going into the guest areas, the cabin areas, the deck areas, the flybridge, the engine room, the crew cabin, the lot. And there is much to talk about. This is a really great boat. So we're going to step down here. We're on a Squadron 68 at the moment. Full tour already on the channel of one of these, if you're interested. But let's take a wander around. Try not to fall in the water. That's not the normal route out of that one. But just to save a bit of time, and here we go, Squadron 58, very, very exciting. And the stuff to talk about starts right at the very back, because this bathing platform is particularly clever. What they've done with this, you can see how long it is, masses of space. There's a lowering section here, your tender goes on here, drops in the water, usual thing. The only problem with a really long bathing platform is that a lot of the costs associated with boats, particularly the berthing, is based on the length. So what they've done with this is they've created this section here that can power up and then power in, so that this trailing edge here lines up with this section here. So you don't have to have this big bathing platform when you're in port. When you're at anchor, you can extend it out, drop it down, and you've got this fantastic space out here on the back of the boat. We're going to hear the PA guy a little bit, unfortunately, so hopefully that won't spoil the background too much. This is nice. This is the bar area, and this retracts, so it goes right in flush. And then there's storage and bins and so forth all along the back of here. If I can find a little button, I can show you. Port locker. There we go. That, for example, is for ice, so that's a draining locker. And so you've got central lockers, you've got a bin, you've got all that kind of stuff. You've also got the extending passerelle. So this is for stern to berthing, access to the boat, and it's telescopic. It retracts all the way in, disappears in through that little letterbox there. We'll press on a little bit further. Shower is here, all that kind of stuff. Some really, really nice substantial deck gear, as you'd expect with a Fairline. You'll notice these hinges here, and that's because I'm stood on the door to the crew cabin. We'll come back and have a look at that. But I want to show you next this area, because this is very clever. This is a modular area. It's actually got a glass transom. You can see it here. And you can reconfigure this, and I'm going to show you how that works, so that you can have seating facing the other way rather than into the boat if you wish to. And another thing to mention is, look how they've put this sliding door here on a slight slant. Rather than going straight across at 90 degrees, it goes forward at that end. And the reason for that is to give you maximum space at this side at the galley, but then by moving that in, it allows you to move those steps forward, allows you to get a massive amount of space here. That actually works really well. That's very clever. And then while we're here, of course, we've got to talk about these balconies. Look at this. Look at the space that you get with this. These bar stools here, you can put here if you want to, or out here. What's also quite nice is these are slot-in rails that go around the outside, because of course these, when you're running, lift up, power up, and become part of the bulwarks down the side of the boat. So of course the next question is, what do you do with these when you take them out? Well, these are dedicated lockers specifically for those, so you've got them to hand and you're ready to go. There's a drop window here, so this becomes part of the bar area, and then you can close it by sliding the window up. In fact, that's the window there that comes up and fills in that area. The lighting on here is brilliant. Look at the way they put lighting into here, all around the edge, and even these little afterburner lights in the back of these fluted sections here. Looks really spectacular at night. And talking of at night, if we go over here, and you'll notice that we're now nearly 5 minutes into this video, we've not even gone inside the boat yet. There are some buttons down here, and one of them, if I get myself right down there, is a welcome home button. You can't your passerelle at night time, you hit the welcome home, and then ding, 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 it lights the whole boat up right the way through, so you can find your way in. So these overhead lights, these low level lights, these lights, it welcomes you home. Another drop balcony on this side, as you can see, and these chairs, they're folding Fairline chairs, and there's a space for those in the crew cabin. Over here then, lots more going on. This is where those stools go if you have them out here in the cockpit. There's a drop window here, so that whole section there powers up to infill this bit, and then you've got the sliding door that goes back here. And also here then we've got safety locker, so that one is like so. This is giving you manual bilge pumping, 2 manual bilge pumps. There are electric bilge pumps, of course. These are backups. Fuel shut-offs are here, so if you want to shut the fuel off remotely to the engines or the generator, you can do, and there's a remote fire pull there for the automatic fire extinguisher. So those are all just backups that you wouldn't normally use, but nonetheless they're easy to reach. And that one there then is a locker for shore power cable. You might want to put an extra fridge in there, whatever you like. In fact, fridges are a bit of a theme on here. If we head on a bit further, so galley aft layout, and you're seeing straight away the beautiful Fairline woodwork, and it's worth mentioning that the quality of everything in here is the same as the Squadron 68. So they've not taken a smaller boat and made it bigger, they've made a bigger boat and made it smaller in terms of the finish and the quality and so forth. Fridges, I mentioned fridges, huge drawer fridges here. What's great about these is you can reconfigure them, you can actually set the temperature. So if you want one or both as freezers, then you can do it. We've got, of course, I'm not going to open it all, but places for your crockery like that. We've got the cooking here, the hob, of course, the sink, the usual bits and pieces you would expect. But then on this side, this is just like a sort of a sideboard, really. At the minute, this one's all storage, but in here you can have a wine cooler, another fridge, an ice maker. That can all be configured in there. It's to own a specification. This wood looks fantastic. You can have the option, this is a walnut, you can have a satin finish rather than a high gloss if you prefer. You can also have an oak finish. If you want a lighter finish, you can have it. Again, we're seeing this beautiful fluting along here, and again, this is all, so in this instance, it's like a bar area for all your glasses and so on. This upholstery is apparently all the rage at the minute. I've got to say, I'm not sure that would be my choice, but you know, kudos to whoever chose it. But obviously there's lots of different choices there. I'm guessing you could have leather or whatever you wanted. There is a 50-inch television on this one, and that retracts, so it drops away when you're not using it. And nice little touches like these beautiful air conditioning vents here, and a little bit of storage for your remote controls and so forth. There's a Sonos system on this one as well, which is linked up to the TV and music and all that kind of stuff. So you're seeing speakers tucked away here, 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 over here. They're all around the place. This table, because this is a 55-footer, there isn't space for a separate dining area, so this does dining and lounging. So this is very much in its lounging configuration. Table is low and small. You can bring the table up, you can fold it out, and you can also, once it's up, bring it in so that you're not having to crane forward to eat. Obviously, when you've got it in its lounging facility, you want to be able to walk right the way around it and just put your drinks on there. Stools here that you can use in the cockpit if you want to, around the table out there. And if we go up here, these are part of the Sonos system. These are remote speakers. So if you want to take those around the boat and use them wherever you like, I think you can even link them up to your phone and use them in the tender or whatever. That's rather a neat touch. And then these beautiful helm seats, look at these. And it's an all glass cockpit. So there's no conventional instrumentation, it's all displayed on here. Got camera system on this one, this is showing the view out of the back. And then this one here, we can go into, here we go. So this is things like engine instrumentation, fuel levels, that kind of stuff we can go into. Battery monitoring, we can go into lighting, all that kind of stuff is all configured from there. And we've also got engine instrumentation on a dedicated screen here from Volvo Penta. This one here is anchor winch control, searchlight control, and the sea fire system, that is the automatic fire extinguishing system. This one's on shafts, but it has a joystick, so you can have joystick control if you want. That links up the engines and the thrusters. And if we drop down here, it's a very high spec, this one, so you've got things like the Seakeeper, the control for that is in there. And then we've also got controls for bilge pumps. Again, they're automatic, but you've got manual override for the electric, batteries, all that kind of stuff. Water gauge is all tucked away in there. And again, look at the finish in here. This little stainless steel strip along here, the curve of this. It's a really nice job. These windows are electric. You can drop these windows on both sides, so you can have ventilation right throughout the whole boat. And if we come right off of here, bow and stern thruster controls are here. Love some of this switching. So things like engine fans and helm lights and so forth, all controlled from there. And talking of switching, they've slimmed this panel right down to the essentials. So this is things like your battery switches, your main battery switches, air conditioning, master control, black water pumps, generator start and stop, all that kind of stuff is found right there. And look at the quality of this as well, and the way it's all curved around. It is the quality item, isn't it? Okay, we're going to go down here. This one is a 3-cabin layout. And we'll head forward first of all. Look at these beautiful door handles. And this is the VIP guest cabin. Really good footprint to this, actually. Look at the amount of space you've got here. If we head on in, then we've got this nice little sort of dressing table area here. We've got hanging locker in here, all illuminated, of course. Again, not going to open everything, but just to give you a flavour, drawers in places like this. Storage up and behind here. Nice hull windows, nice view out. These are opening sections, and look at the way they're done in stainless steel rather than the usual black plastic. Very, very nice indeed. There's a hatch up above for ventilation and light. Obviously some bed cushions are on at the minute, so we can't actually see that light coming through at the moment, but there's blinds to come across there obviously, so that if you are using it without the cushions on, you can blank the light off if you want. And having said that's a dressing table, I've just discovered it over here. There we go. That's that little fella, like so. And again, just nice little bits of lighting down in places like this. Just fantastic. If we go into here, then we've got the ensuite to this cabin. This is also the day head, so this is access from the main passageway. I'll show you that in just a minute. But again, very Fairline with this beautiful high gloss wood and then this grey finish on here. The shower itself, of course, is in here. Nice. Very, very nice indeed. That's the door, which I'll show you the other side of. Look at these maple inlays that they put in places like this. And again, you're seeing this fluting about the place. Just feels like a luxury product. It really does. That's the door into the heads, so making it a day head so people can come down the steps and straight in without going through any cabins, but it also means that cabin 3 can share it. That's this fella over here. 2 singles in this one. You can power the inboard one across to the outboard one to make that into a double if you prefer. Again, of course, you've got hanging locker and you've got AV equipment and air conditioning controls and all the usual kind of stuff that you'd expect to find, including, again, really nice finish, hull windows, opening section, all of that. Let's press on further back into this lobby area and down, because this is taking us to the owner's cabin. There's a big storage area in here under the stairs. You could have more refrigeration there or a freezer there if you wanted to, so if you're spending a lot of time on the boat and want to increase that, then you can. And then check this out. Look at that, it's beautiful, isn't it? And again, the finishes and the lighting in particular. Look at the way they've put this light that runs all around here, so you've got real low level discrete lighting. If you want to, you can turn all the main lights off, just have the backlighting on. I'm going to show you before I forget that just in behind the door is the washer dryer, but also look at this cutout here. That is so that this door can open fully. And look at the way there's no catch on the outside of here. It's one of these clever magnetic ones that when you close it, it pops out, and as soon as you open it, it retracts and stays retracted. AV equipment in here, again, the fluting on the woodwork, as you'd expect. Well, usual sort of stuff, wardrobes and so on, but a really good size in here. Safe in here as well. Bit more storage. Lovely little settee, lovely hull windows. And again, it's all just so beautifully done, isn't it? You've got power sockets down by the bed, USB and mains. You've got light switches so you don't have to get out of bed to turn the lights on and off. That little chap there. A bit more storage. Yeah, and the view out of these is fantastic. Obviously, more so when you're at anchor rather than alongside another boat, but you get the idea. Big dressing table over on this side. Again, with the drawers and so forth. That one there is a little push bush. So you can lift that up like that. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This is what I'm talking about, this lighting. Look at this along here. Isn't that nice? And again, these little bits of fluted wood around the place and so forth. The finish is terrific, and that's what I was saying right at the beginning, how they've brought the finish from their biggest boats down, not their smaller boats up, and you can really feel it. This has a ensuite, of course, or an ensuite, I should say. Look at this little catch here. That's because, there we are, you don't want to have a handle sticking out that you're going to catch yourself on when there's one there as well. It'd make it a bit narrow. So they've done one of those on both sides to keep that down. And look at this for precision. Because this door opens so far back, that one goes to there and stops on a magnetic catch. So they're not going to clash into each other. That is attention to detail, isn't it? This is the biggest heads in the boat, of course. You've got the shower. You've got your wave in the mirror. You've got your loo. You've got your storage. And you've got your hull window. Of course, these all have blinds that drop down over them. And again, you've got the opening section there. Very nicely done, isn't it? Beautiful. And again, these catches that disappear. We will see that spring into life if I close it. Let's have a look. Might do. There we go. Brilliant. Okay, that is the interior. Plenty more to see on the decks. We've got the flybridge, we've got the crew cabin, we've got the engine space to do. So we'll head on back. Head out of here, and while we've been inside, the elves have been busy. Look at this. They've turned this into the alternative layout for this cockpit, and now what we've got is this fantastic seating area around here. That is absolutely beautiful. Table unfolds, of course, so if you want to dine here you can do, and that's that glass transom that we mentioned. So the view out, when you're sat here, you're looking right out across the water. Again, you've got to imagine this at anchor, just how beautiful that would be. That is superb. I love the dark finish they've put on here. That works well. And the beam that you get with these drop balconies, of course, is fantastic. Just brilliant. Okay, where next? Let's go up to the flybridge next. Lighting, again, just so beautifully done. Now this one has the optional hardtop. So standard, you just get this open, and then you can have a canvas bimini if you prefer, or you can have a solid hardtop. If you have the solid hardtop, then you have the opening section here, so you can bring that out, but you also have this extending sunshade that comes out of the trailing edge, so that will retract completely flush back into here. You can see the moulding on the trailing edge, which matches this perfectly. We've got sunbathing back here. We've got seating, of course, all the way around, and a table that unfolds. So you can increase the size of that. We had a lot, and I mean a lot of rain yesterday, so hence we're still seeing the aftermath of that. It was an absolute monsoon. So that opens up and and dries off. We've got seating, of course, all the way around here, but this one here, there's a pull-out section. So if you want to make that into a nice sunbathing area next to the helm, that can be done, or just a nice companion seat. And of course, at this size, the vast majority of these will be owner operated. You don't normally get a crew. There is a crew cabin, but it's really probably more for occasional use. If you're looking for full-time crew, you'd probably go for something a little larger. Helm is up here. Again, throttle controls, the joystick docking control, the bow and stern thrusters, the instrumentation across here, the Volvo instrumentation, all the kind of stuff, the important stuff from the lower helm is repeated up here at the upper helm. And then we've got this amazing view out across the front of the boat. Fantastic. That's that opening section. So all of that sort of canvassy bit, if you like, concertina's back, so you can get a lot of light and air into here, and you've got lighting in here as well for at night. And then bar area is here. So this is your barbecue, your sink, your fridge, and an ice maker on this one. And that, I'm guessing, is a bit of storage. Bin. There we go. It is storage, but for your rubbish. This is a drop section, so you can close this down if you want to isolate this. And yeah, that's your flybridge. Let's carry on. Deck areas to do, and as I say, crew cabin and engine room to do as well. So back down here, loop past this balcony. Again, look at this lighting in here. It's just gorgeous. I love stuff like that. And if you come right out onto the edge, you get a real nice sense of the yacht with the way that it curves away. This is a nice place to be, actually. I'd admire your fine machine. It's a nice thick gauge stainless steel about the place. If you come up here, this is the drop window next to the helm. As I mentioned, there's one either side, and it's basically this section forward lowers. It's a massive one-piece windscreen, big pantograph wipers as well, of course. And I like the way they've done the grey on this upper area and then on up, so it kind of lowers the profile, because when you look at the boat, you just tend to see the white, and then this kind of disguises the height a little bit. It's a good looking boat. Deck lockers are up here. Ropes, fenders, all that kind of stuff. And then a great seating area here, a table that you can pull out, and a sunbathing area. And this is above that forward cabin. I mentioned that there was that hatch that was covered up by the sunbathing, and that is that little fella there. So people say, well, how do you get out of there if there's cushions on it? Well, it's easy as that. If you push it, it just pushes that up out of the way. There we go. Anchor winch up here, anchor chain lockers, the anchor itself hanging over the bow. Lovely. Okay, we are going to continue back down the other side. We'll pause and take a quick look from here first. Nice. On down here, you can see all these round sections on the inside of the bulwark. So there's lighting. So it's all illuminated all the way down here. This is that other drop window. Love this deck gear. It just looks so stylish, doesn't it? It's like every inch of this boat is thought out. They haven't built the boat and gone, right, let's get some cleats and just bolt them on. They've even designed those bits. Okay, we're going to have right on back. I'm going to show you the crew cabin. Now, I mentioned this is normally owner operated, and these crew cabins really get used mostly as an overflow cabin. So somewhere for your daughter's boyfriend, somewhere for the occasional guest when your boat's already full. If we push this one here, but also, there we go. You know, sometimes you might be going away for a week or a fortnight. You might want to take a deckhand or a stewardess, somebody just to look after you and cook the meals and do the washing up and the boring bits. Well, of course, then this is perfect for that as well. But the other alternative to this is you can have this just as a storage area. You don't have to have this fitted out as a cabin at all if you don't want to. And what's quite nice is that there is a toilet down here and a shower, of course. It's like a wet room. And if you have this fitted out as a storage area, you can keep that. So if you want heads that can be accessed direct from the sort of the beach club area, well, then you've still got that in place. Or you can lose that and have this just as a massive, great big storage void. Just depends how you run the boat, how you want to use it. Let's spin all the way around. There's a little sink over there, a bit of storage and so forth. But actually, even here, you know, it's the same level of quality in terms of the walnut wood and the lighting and the air conditioning and all that sort of stuff. It is a perfectly nice space, albeit a compact one. There we go. All right. So, last thing to discuss is the engines. So we will drop that one back down. There we go, little handle there for that. Even this got lighting underneath it. And even here, can you see how this is sort of lit up? And what that is, it's lighting built into there. Can you see it? This boat is going to look fantastic at night, isn't it? And then again, we can see that glass transom, how that works. Just brilliant. Okay, let's go and find some engines. And they are basically under the saloon here and accessed from here. There we go. And that's got some gas strutting on it. Should probably take my shoes off, shouldn't I? It is the engine room, but it is also brand spanking new. Okay, let's head on down. PA's just kicked into life, so this is a good place to be out of sight of it. Now, talk to me about these trousers. I think they're pretty cool. Your mileage may vary. What do we think? A win, a hit or a miss? Okay, engines. Volvo Penta D13 1000 engines. They are a conventional shaft drive. No B-boxes, no IPS. You've just got engine, gearbox on the back of the engine, shaft disappearing out from there. Nice, simple engineering. A lot to be said for that. This is the fire extinguishing system, and this is automatic, but also you can see that cable that goes up and back. You remember that safety locker? And I said there's a pull for the automatic fire extinguishing system, so if you wanted to set it off manually, you could. That's what that is. Another engine over on this side. These are I think I said D13,000s. They are 1,000 horsepower each. The option is 900s, but the thousands are what's fitted to this boat. And they tested this boat fully loaded, it's full fuel, full water, full black tanks, tender, the lot, and they got 33 knots out of it. It's a quick boat for a Flybridge family cruiser. That's fantastic. Range, well, at high speeds, you're looking sort of, you know, high 20s cruising speed. You're looking at a little over 200 miles. Drop the speed right back. As ever, displacement speeds, you're going to be pushing up 600-700 miles from this one, somewhere in that sort of region. Raycore filters, these are twin filters, and you've got the changeover in the center there, so you can change from one to the other very easily if you get a blockage. That is a very useful thing to have. We've got the Victron system at the back for the battery management. Generator is in here as well, of course. It's all very Fairline, isn't it? Very well lit, very nicely done. Fantastic. Okay. I think we've pretty much covered it. Look at the size of the exhausts on this. So these are the exhausts out the engine. You've got silencers then, that's those big like dustbins, big round halyard fellows, and then the actual exhausts then run out through the back of the boat. Brilliant. More low-level lighting. This is quite handy because you've got a rail right here as you come out of the engine room. That is a nice thing to hold on to, actually. I like that. Speaking as a man who spends an awful lot of time going in and out of engine rooms, we approve. Okay, let's close that one back down. There we go. And I think we'll come back up and we'll finish up on the foredeck, hopefully before that PA kicks back into life. There we go. And that, my friends, is Fairline's brand new Squadron 58. I think that is an absolutely fantastic boat. I'd be very interested to hear what you think, so let me know in the comments. And I'd just like to say massive thanks to Fairline for organising that tour and giving me a completely empty boat to look around. Massive thanks, of course, to you guys for watching it. Let me know what you think, and we'll catch you on another one of these real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.